Few people know that shortly before his death, Albert Einstein wrote a shocking letter that was kept from the public for decades. In this mysterious historical document, he spoke about topics rarely discussed openly in scientific or materialistic circles, about God, about time, and about what life after death really means. The letter stayed in private hands for more than half a century and was only recently sold for nearly $3 million. What could the greatest scientist of his time, the man who understood the universe better than anyone else, have written that still sparks debate today? What did he mean when he denied the existence of a personal God but talked about a mind behind all creation? Why did he say that the difference between past, present, and future is only an illusion? And why did a physicist who avoided all mysticism suddenly start talking about eternity? What had he discovered? In this episode, we'll try to uncover the hidden meaning behind Einstein's ideas and understand what he was really trying to tell humanity before he left this world. In 1954, a year before his death, Einstein wrote a private letter that almost no one saw for decades. It wasn't about science or equations. It was about God, death, and what lies beyond what we can measure. The letter was addressed to a philosopher named Eric Goodkind, a reply to his book, Choose Life. But what Einstein wrote inside shook both scientists and believers. He didn't deny the existence of something greater, but he destroyed the image of a God who watches and punishes. He wrote about a deeper power, one that doesn't have a face or voice, but controls everything through invisible laws. For Einstein, God wasn't a person. It was the structure of reality itself, a kind of hidden order that connects everything, the smallest atom, the stars, and even us. The Dutch philosopher Spinoza said the same long before him. The universe and God are one. Einstein never called himself a pantheist, but his ideas sounded close. He often said that the universe doesn't play dice, not because he was religious, but because he refused to believe that everything happens by accident. He saw a pattern in chaos. He believed that behind every movement there's a reason, even if we can't see it yet. To explain this, he used a simple image. Imagine a child walking into a huge library. Shelves reach the ceiling. The books are written in hundreds of languages, most of them impossible to read. But the child feels that there's order. Someone arranged these books with purpose. That, Einstein said, is how humanity stands before the universe. We don't understand everything, but we can sense that there's intelligence behind it. And then, the most mysterious part. In another letter, written when his close friend Michel Besso died, Einstein said that the line between the past, present, and future is only an illusion. For him, time wasn't something that moves. It was a single structure. Everything that has happened and will happen already exists. Death, in that sense, doesn't destroy. It only moves us from one point in that structure to another. He never promised eternal life. He didn't talk about heaven or souls, but he believed that nothing in this universe truly disappears. Energy changes form, information spreads, matter transforms, but nothing is lost. That's why some modern scientists, like physicist Sabine Hossenfelder, later said that if time is one continuous whole, then the moment where a person is alive never vanishes. It still exists somewhere in the fabric of space-time. And here the mystery deepens. If nothing disappears, then maybe the essence of who we are, our thoughts, our memories, doesn't vanish either. Maybe it just moves into another layer of the same reality, beyond what we can measure. There's a popular story about a letter Einstein supposedly wrote to his daughter, where he calls love the most powerful force in the universe. The document's authenticity is debated, but the idea fits his worldview. He believed that love, curiosity, and awe weren't emotions. They were signs that we too are part of the same order that governs everything. So, what did Einstein really reveal in that secret letter? That the universe might be far more alive than we think. That time may be just another dimension, not a line, but a whole. And that the laws of nature themselves might be the closest thing we'll ever find to understanding God. Let's now look at what modern physics says about time and why some scientists now claim that death as we know it may not even exist. Einstein once changed the way we see time forever. Before him, time felt simple: past, present, future. One moves forward, the other stays behind. But his equations broke that illusion. They showed that there is no single now that applies to everyone in the universe. What we call the present is just a point in a much larger picture, one that already contains everything: the past, the future, and every heartbeat in between. Imagine reality as a massive tapestry woven from space and time together. Every thread a moment, every intersection an event. From this view, nothing ever truly vanishes. Everything that has ever happened still exists somewhere within that fabric, including the moment someone took their last breath. Modern physicists still wrestle with what that means. Sabine Hossenfelder, one of the clearest voices in theoretical physics today, explains it simply. From the point of view of relativity, moments from the past don't disappear. They remain part of the structure of the universe. You can't step back into them. You can't talk to someone who's gone, but those moments are still there, frozen into the geometry of reality. It's a strange idea to grasp. When you lose someone, you imagine they're gone, erased. But in this picture, they're not. The moment where they smiled at you or called your name hasn't been deleted. It's still part of the map of existence. You just can't reach it anymore, the same way you can't walk into a photograph and touch the people inside it. Einstein's vision quietly erased the border we draw between life and death. If all of time already exists, then dying is not an end. It's a shift to another coordinate in that cosmic structure. The flow we feel is just how our limited senses experience a much larger whole. And there's another piece of this puzzle: information. In physics, information can't be destroyed, ever. It can change form, it can scatter into light or dust, but it never disappears completely. That means everything that makes up a person, the pattern of their thoughts, the particles that once formed their body, continues to exist in some rearranged way. Think of it like a message written in smoke. The letters vanish, but the smoke doesn't. It just spreads so thin that it becomes impossible to read. That's what happens to us on a physical level, and maybe, just maybe, on another level too. This idea creates one of the greatest mysteries in science: the black hole paradox. When matter falls into a black hole, it seems to vanish completely. But if information can't be destroyed, where does it go? Some say it's stored on the event horizon. Others think it's released back into space in coded radiation. Nobody knows for sure. Then there's the question of measurement in quantum physics. Why does one reality become real while the others fade away? Some scientists suspect consciousness itself might play a role in choosing what we see, though that line of thinking remains controversial. Yet all these questions about time, death, information, and perception seem to point to one thing. The universe might be far more connected than we can understand. Einstein sensed that connection. He often spoke of a cosmic feeling, a quiet awareness that everything in existence is part of one vast whole. Not separate lives, not random events, but a single melody played on different instruments. And if that's true, then maybe death isn't the silence we fear. Maybe it's just the pause between notes, part of the same eternal song that never stops playing. In the next part, we'll explore what this could mean for us, not as scientists, but as humans, and why understanding time might just be the key to understanding what waits beyond it.